Over 500,000 people in America are homeless right now. In Arizona alone, tens of thousands sleep in cars, 10 square shelters every night. Most never get a second chance. Around 2 months ago, I received an email from a woman named Maddie. Maddie has spent years fighting to survive on the edges of that statistic. Shelters, streets, constant instability. She told me about nights she went hungry, nights she didn't know if she'd be safe. And now she's got 30 days before her time at a Mesa shelter runs out. No money, no job, no experience, just a will to fight. And the belief that there's still something better out there. Faced against the odds, she did something unexpected. Something most people think is too far out of their reach. She decided to learn real estate. This is a story of what happens when someone with nothing refuses to quit and takes hope and turns it into action, and why anyone watching this and following this journey might be able to do the same. I don't know if she's going to answer. I hope she is, but I get maybe 200 emails a year from people all over the country saying, I'll work for you for free, right? We have a big office. We have a lot going on here. And my answer is always no. Like, no, you can't work for me for free. I then get probably a good 100 people that reach out and go, I'm sleeping in my car. Your YouTube content's kept me going. I really wish you would give me a more like specific, exact game plan. I can't buy your course, which I don't have a course. I have a community, but I can't get into your community. And I finally got somebody that emailed me that said, I am homeless and I live in a shelter in Mesa, Arizona, which is where I live. And I said, oh my gosh, physically, I can actually help you. I can spend an hour to a week with you in person. And so this person, her name is Maddie, and she and I have been emailing back and forth. I finally just told her, hey, can I call you and can we chat? And she just says, absolutely. Maddie.
Yes, hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Great, how are you?
I'm good. This is Pace. Are you having a good day?
Yes, I am. I'm sorry about the phone situation. My phone has been doing some funky stuff lately.
No problem. Don't even worry about it. What's the name of the shelter you're at?
It's the Windermere Hotel.
Oh, cool. How is the Windermere Hotel doing a shelter? Is it like a nonprofit that's running it or something?
Yes, it's through Community Bridges.
Oh, that's a cool company. So anyway, so here's what popped up in my mind. When you were emailing me, I get hundreds of people that email me and say, Pace, will you help me? But those people are like physically in different states than me, right? And so
Right.
I haven't been able to help them. And I make a lot of YouTube content, which I'm sure you've watched.
Yes.
And I just feel like if I was able to physically help you, like either have, pick you up 1 or 2 times a week, work with you either in my office or like at a Starbucks, I could help you go get your first deal done and make like $10, $5, $15, $20,000 or whatever it is. And if you let me document it, I could then give it to everybody that ever emails me in the future and say, hey, follow this game plan that I gave Maddie step by step.
That would be great, Pace, because that would be a great encouragement to people who are in my situation.
Yep.
And that feel like they can't do it or can't make it. That would at least give them some kind of hope.
My name is Maddie Richards. I am 59 years old. I am a mother of 3 adult sons and a grandmother of one 11-year-old. I was born and raised in Stamford, Connecticut, 20 minutes outside of New York City. Well, my oldest son, his name is Zachary, he was in the military, in the Marine Corps, stationed in Yuma. When he got out of the Marine Corps, he moved to Phoenix. So in 2020, when the COVID hit, it lowered like airplane flights. So long story short, I didn't get to come out and see my son, which I wanted to see him. So by the time I came out here, my plane ticket was $35 and some change, like 35 and some change. So I just figured that's my opportunity to come and see my son. Well, my other 2 sons, I hadn't seen them in years either. So they were all here in Phoenix with my oldest son visiting, which I thought was like the best opportunity because I hadn't seen any of my children in years. That's what brought me here to Arizona. Well, I liked Arizona, so I ended up staying. But, you know, some things transpired in our family, and I stayed with my son for like 4 months when I came here. I stayed with him for like 4 months, and then he was like, Mom, it's really time for you to go. So I was like, go where? You know, like, so he was like, I don't know, but you just have to go. So it was just really strange. But at the end of the day, I didn't know where to go. So I called the Phoenix police. They brought me here to Mesa. Well, lo and behold, my son told the police officer I was on drugs. So they brought me to a detox here in Mesa. So, and this started in 2021. Again, everything just kind of spirals out. I'm on the streets. Mesa police officer, he said, you know, I'm really tired of seeing you out here. And I said, well, Mr. Officer, I'm tired of seeing you too. I said, because every time I try to sit down and just get some sleep, here you come. I said, it's like you're following me, like you're singling me out. I said, but it's a lot of us out here on the streets. So he said, I told him, I said, well, if you're really tired of seeing me out here on the streets, I said, I'll tell you what, you go in your pocket, you put me in a hotel. He said, I can't do that. I said, sure you can. I said, you work for the mayor. Tell the mayor you're tired of seeing this little black woman on the streets. Well, he thought that was just probably like the craziest thing he ever heard. But later on, like maybe a few months later, here he comes again. So I said, oh, what do you want now? So he goes, no, he said, here's my card. Go to CBI at Paz de Cristo on Broadway. Tell them I sent you. They're gonna put you in a hotel. So I took his card, I went to CBI that very next morning, and he was right. They put me in the Windermere. So at the end of the day, here I am again. But in my room, I can sit and watch TV or videos. So I'm listening to Pace. And so at the end of the video, I remember sitting on the end of the bed and just kind of like feeling down at my wit's end. And I said, somehow I gotta get connected. I gotta get connected. So I scrolled to the end. Well, I find Pace's personal email address, not realizing it was his personal email address. So I said, well, it's a stab in the dark, but I gotta take a chance. So I shot Pace an email, and I remember he taught me, the one thing he taught me, like, you know how sometimes you can email a person or text a person and you're talking way more than they are? Like, they've only said a few sentences and you've sent paragraphs. Yeah. So I remember that. I said, I gotta make it short and I gotta make it sweet, but I gotta make it count.
People email me these long stories, and I'm like, busy people don't have time for a novel. So I said, if you're not giving me this thing in 2 sentences you need from me, my team is gonna delete it before I even see it. I said, I'm in a shelter, I'm in Mesa. I said, and you know, I need help. I said, I'm the kind of person you gotta take me by the hand and you gotta show me. I said, but once I get it, I got it, I will put in the work. Can you help me? So she writes me an email that is like, I wanna be the next Sub-2 success story, which means she knew the way into my heart, which was talking about the Sub-2 community, the passion project that I have. Well, I didn't know, like, I really didn't believe he was going to respond. I just had to take a chance. I just felt like it was my shot, you know, take my shot. And when he like responded back, like, whoa. And then like a couple of days later, he said, hey, how would you like to go to LA with me? Okay, so we'd love to help you out. Are you so I'm going to LA tomorrow. Why am I inviting you to LA? I'll tell you why. And I know it's weird because some weird white guys asking you, hey, you want to go on a plane with me? You know?
Well, the weird white guy knows how to do real estate.
Right, that is correct. So I'm going to LA because I'm looking at buying a modular home company, and that has nothing to do with necessarily with you. But I'm going out there to tour the property, and then I'm going to have my camera guy. And my camera guy, Eric, will be with me all day long. So my thought, and tell me if this is uncomfortable or puts you in a weird position, just be honest with me. I don't have a feeling either way. I just want to figure out how to help you the easiest way possible. My camera guy, I thought if I buy you a plane ticket, you come out with me, I'll pay for your food, you go tour the property with me, it gives me an opportunity to ask you questions about your life so that people that are watching the content in the future can be inspired by how did you get to this place you are? What did you have to overcome? What are you still overcoming? Where are you currently at right now so they understand the history of the person that I'm about to go help and get their first deal?
I was so excited. So from 9 o'clock the night before us going to LA till 11 o'clock the next night, I did not sleep because I was just so excited about this opportunity.
Even Eric, our videographer, I call him that morning. It's 6 o'clock, and he's gonna come meet me at my house, and we're gonna go pick up Maddie. He doesn't know, so I call him. I go, hey, just want to let you know, we're gonna go pick up a lady from a shelter right now. He's like, okay, cool. Or we're gonna drop her off at another shelter on the way to the airport. I'm like, no. I bought her a flight. She's coming with us. He's like, why is she who is this? Is this a family member? I go, no, I've never met her before. What? So 7 o'clock in the morning, I pull up to the Windermere Hotel. It's a hotel in Mesa. I've driven by it 1,000 times. I had no idea it was a homeless shelter. And I think people that even live near there have no idea it's a homeless shelter. It looks like a hotel. And pull up to the front. She opens the truck and she's standing there.
So then he was like, come on, get in, we're gonna head to the airport. So I'm all excited and I'm in the truck and I wanna ask questions. So then I was kind of sharing, my story with him in the truck on our way to the airport. And I'm still wanting to ask I got a million questions. How can I get my foot in the door? How can I get started? I don't have a clue. But I know that there are people who are already doing it that can help me.
How did you find me?
I was watching you.
On what?
I was watching your videos on YouTube. I was watching you on TV when you do your commercials.
Oh, wow, okay.
So I said, he makes it sound so easy. So that's when I started reaching out to you.
Immediately felt how excited and happy and pumped up she was that she even told me, she's like, this is the greatest opportunity in my life. I can't believe you answered my email. And then we spent the whole day together. And the weird thing was her bags. Where I just watched her all day long carrying these bags around. What is wrong with this lady with these bags? Take all that today? You can.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just all my junk. It's a part of being on the streets.
Okay.
It's kind of like you need your stuff with you.
No problem. It wasn't until 11 o'clock at night where I dropped her off after 14 hours hanging out that I realized how lucky she was that you can see her baggage that she's carrying around on the outside, whereas most people, you can't see their baggage until you get into a deep relationship with them and you realize where their baggage is. Her baggage is right in front of her. It's right in front, you can see it. She's carrying it. It's the trauma of the streets. It's I've been stolen from and taken advantage of. Overall, she was just so sweet and positive and she was so conversational. I was like, how is this lady not a millionaire? Because this engine that she has, which is a lot of energy, articulate, conversational, friendly, are all signs of a multimillionaire. But her engine was put into the wrong vehicle. And so I knew right away, I was like, this lady is gonna have no problem crushing it. at least for her first deal. Like, I will get her to a first deal situation, but then I started immediately as we're driving to the airport. I'm like, Maddie, have you ever made money in your life? And I think the most amount of money Maddie had ever seen through my conversations with her, the most amount of money she's ever seen in one lump sum was $2,000. Like, imagine being 59 years old and never seeing more than $2,000 in one lump sum. That's crazy.
When we got to LA, I got to see how Pace kind of moves and operates and talks. So I'm just taking a lot of mental notes. Like, I'm just watching him, how he moves and stuff. So he was going to buy a business, but the owner of the business, very gracious. He was like telling Pace everything about the business, how he got started and everything. It was amazing to see this thing in progress, right?
What was also interesting about her is like some of my first impressions were she would ask questions she did not deserve to know the answer to. Just like so many new people do. Like, oh, why are you buying a modular home company? Like, is that something I should be doing? Maddie, I don't even know it's something I should be doing. Like, why would you even ask that question? And I started realizing why I got the lottery. I won the lottery with Maddie is because she doesn't know what she doesn't know. And so she's asking me questions about modular home stuff. I'm like, Maddie, I'm not taking you to go to the modular home company so you can learn about modular homes. You're just shadowing me for the day so we can have conversations in between the waiting periods. I wanted to fill those gaps with talking to you. Stop asking me questions about the modular home company. That's not in the cards for you for maybe ever. And she would not get off the questions about the modular home company. I'm like, it is, and this is what newbies do. They create obstacles in their way that they'll never even have to need to know the answer to. She was engaged and she was participating in the conversation in a positive way. And so Maddie it was almost like I paid her to be so good for these appointments. Like, Diego, seller of the modular home company. Diego, oh my gosh, Pace would be so good at this, and that. Wow, this is impressive. What you've done is this. She would talk 1% of what I would talk, so she let me do everything, but she would interject in these little moments where it actually boosted the elevation and the energy of the room. I'm like, how is this lady not already a millionaire? Like, I have professional real estate investors that shadow me that can't hang in a meeting like that.
Fast forward, Pace goes, I said, Pace, where are we going now? He goes, we're going to a meetup. I guess it was in like Hollywood somewhere. And it was like all these people, right? So at first I was kind of scared, like I kind of froze because all these people, and I don't know anything, and they're gonna be talking about, because they're like sub-2 students, people doing deals, all kinds of stuff going on. So Pace and Eric went to talk to the whole group, like, you know.
We are an amazing community, and here's what's cool about us. While some people focus on just doing Airbnbs, they go learn Airbnb, and then they go, okay, well, I'm kind of stuck in this little education thing. Or somebody else goes and learns how to cold call, or somebody learns how to wholesale. What's amazing about our community is that we do everything. So
I said, well, I'm not just gonna stand here and look stupid. I'm gonna start a conversation. So I meet this woman, her name is Cynthia, and her husband name is Miguel. So we start talking about like, what is the difference between sub-2 and Gator? And so they gave me their card, and because they're already doing deals, they're already like in their business. You know, it's a husband and wife team. They're already doing real estate deals. They have a portfolio and all of that. So I'm talking to them, just making conversation and learning how everybody at these meetups interact. Because I want to know, like, what are these meetups about? Can I make some connections? Well, I'm still in touch with all of them since that meetup, because some of them are transactional lenders, double closers, realtors. I mean, I met a different group of people that I networked with. And we're still in touch since that day.
I think people that have watched me long enough realize is that I'm obsessed with community. And so she had watched enough webinars and she had watched enough training to realize like creative finance is definitely a passion of mine, but community is like the thing, it's the mission, right? And so she already knew from watching videos that the community was there as probably the greatest gift she could ever receive, was just going to a meetup where she could meet these people. She just kind of went off on her own and started networking with people and started chatting with everybody about everything.
Well, I just thought it was amazing at the end of the day, because that was my opportunity to network, to meet people. And there was people from all nationalities, all walks of life, and they were sharing their story with me because of course they knew my story, you know, how I'm starting out. And so they were more than willing to share. And then I met those that are in sub 2 that are doing deals. And it was amazing just to network, because I was just like going up to people and starting a conversation, because I always believe everything starts with a conversation and you don't know until you ask. So I was just kind of making my rounds, talking to different ones, gathering kind of like information, hearing their story, what they do. And it was just really a nice event, the meetup, because everybody was networking. Everybody was networking. And so I just had a really good time. Like, I was even more excited, more amped up. You know, I was amped up, but like that, everything was just like fueling me, you know, like fueling me. I can't wait until I can learn how to like bird dog and I'm meeting these people that are going to be key people during the course of all of this, as I move forward.
What was interesting is like I go through my life not telling my wife what I do, and my wife finds out like what I'm doing on social media. I go the whole day with Maddie, which I'll tell you about, but then I get home and the whole next Saturday I'm hanging out with the kids and my wife poolside doing the thing. And not one time does my wife ask me like, hey, so how was it hanging out with the homeless lady all day long yesterday? And I finally, at the end of the day, I'm like, are you not gonna ask me like how it went with Maddie? She's like, I've been with you for 15 years. I know that you're crafting some incredible story, and if I ask you now, it's all gonna change. And I just let you be a feather in the wind. Just do whatever the hell you're doing.
1, 2.
Before he left, he said, the next time we get together, he said, I'm gonna have a plan for you. I'm gonna have a plan for you.
Thank you so much for following along with this journey. Maddie has been incredibly brave, allowing us to share her story with you guys. This story is actually not about Maddie. We're just using Maddie's circumstances to help you. So I hope you understand that Maddie is braving it all, bearing it all, telling every part of her story so that you can be inspired and realize that if she can do it, I can do it too. Now, here's the downfall to all of this filming. In order for us to make one video that's 20, 40, or even 60 minutes long, we have to go and film 60 hours with Maddie. We want to give you guys all of that content, but our team is putting it all together, and the only way that we feel is appropriate is we are going to write a book. And this book currently is called Pace's Next Book. So if you went to pacesnextbook.com, you can pre-order the book. And here's what's fun about the book. You get the book. It's gonna be not only about Maddie and how she got her first deal and how you can do it too. It's gonna be about 5, maybe even 6 other characters inside of this book following the game plan as well, so that you can buy this book and it's gonna be a blueprint for success. So this is gonna be a money-making book that destroys all excuses, no matter where you are, who you are, and what resources you have. Now, with this book, we are also going to give all of the video companion, every piece of content to every chapter that we record. We go record 50 hours of content, you get the 50 hours of content if you have access to the pre-order of the book. So go to pacesnextbook.com, purchase the book, And what we'll do is immediately start sending you emails of all the video content that we have so far so that you guys can follow along, sift through the stuff that you really want to watch. And guess what? Next week, we are going to be breaking down Maddie's game plan. Now that we understand who Maddie is, what she has access to, what her mind state is, we now are going to put a game plan together next week that you guys can start following along. Now, again, that's going to be a YouTube video that can only do so much. So if you guys want all of the content, all of the video footage, not only will you get the book when it comes out, you will get the book and the video content with it if you go over to pacesnextbook.com and pre-order that now. Thank you again, guys. Give Maddie some love in the comments down below. She's braved a lot of adversity to get here and put herself on camera to inspire you guys to take action. And remember, this is not about a homeless lady. This is about a lady that has a tremendous amount of adversity, setbacks, etc. And if she can do it, you can do it too. We'll see you guys in next week's episode. Make sure you give her some love in the comments down below and share this with your friends and say, man alive, what's kept me? What's kept you? What's kept all of us from going out and getting our first deal? Let's all follow Maddie's journey going forward to next week into the game plan.